Have you ever thought about the invisible power that governs your life? It's not the government. It's not the market. It's not your boss. It's your mind. Bob Proctor used to say with unshakable clarity, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Pause for a moment and reflect. What have you been feeding your mind with? Because that is exactly what's shaping your reality. Proctor wasn't talking about cheap motivation. He was talking about an exact science. The human mind operates by laws just like gravity. And when you learn to use those laws, everything can change. Most people live on autopilot, thinking they're victims of fate. But Bob showed us a different truth. You create your reality by the thoughts you choose to hold. The truth is, most people don't choose their thoughts. They just react to whatever's happening. But the mind, when trained, becomes the most powerful tool in the universe. Take a good look at your results. They never lie. They show you exactly what's happening inside you. Proctor used to say, results never lie. If you want to change your life, start by changing your paradigms. And what are paradigms? They are mental programs, deep-rooted beliefs, often invisible, that control everything you do, from how you dress to how much money you earn. Here's the truth that few dare to speak. You don't need to know how. You just need to decide what you want. The universe responds to clarity with motion. Bob would say, decide what you want. And then, ... just decide. Sounds simple, doesn't it? And it is. But it's not easy, because deciding requires faith in yourself. Yes, faith in the invisible. Maybe you're facing challenges right now. Maybe life feels heavy. But there's one thing you can control: what you think. And that, my friend, changes everything. Start now. Take a deep breath. Decide that. From this moment forward, you'll take control of your mind. Guard your thoughts like you would guard a rare jewel. And if you're feeling the power of these words, share this video with someone who needs to wake up. Because when a mind awakens, the entire world begins to shift. Bob Proctor used to say, with conviction, you're not responsible for the thoughts planted in your mind, but you're absolutely responsible for removing them. Most people live under the control of inherited beliefs. Old programs passed down by parents, teachers, religion, and society. And the most shocking part? They don't even realize it. Repeat the same patterns. They work hard, but never move forward. They make money, then lose it. They try to change their lives, but always end up right back where they started. Why? Because they're paradigms. Those deep-rooted belief systems are running the show? They're like the operating system behind everything. If you don't change that system, nothing changes. Bob Proctor would say, if you want to change your life, you have to change from the inside out. That's the only way. True change never happens from the outside in. But how do you change that invisible system? First step is awareness. You have to observe your results. How much are you earning? How is your health? How are your relationships? They are only reflections of what's happening within. The second step is decision. Real change requires a firm decision. It's not a weak one, but a decision that screams, I refuse to live like this any longer. That kind of decision has the power to break years of conditioning. And the third step is conscious repetition. That's right. There's no magic. There's repetition. You need to flood your mind every single day with the ideas you want embedded in your subconscious. Affirmations, visualizations, reading, listening to powerful content. This isn't luxury. It's necessity. You're reprogramming your mind for a new reality. Proctor had a clear phrase: repetition is the mother of learning. If you repeat the new paradigm with intensity and emotion, it will become your new normal. You might be thinking, but I've already tried so many times. Yes, and that's exactly why this video exists. To remind you to try the right way. With intention. With clarity. With persistence. Nothing changes overnight. But everything begins to change the moment you change from within. So here's a challenge. Pick one affirmation today. Just one. Write it down. Repeat it. Visualize it. Live it as if it were already true. Make it a discipline. And remember, the world won't believe in you till you believe in you. If this message is awakening something within you, write in the comments, "I'm taking control." That way you not only declare your decision, but inspire others to do the same. Bob Proctor used to say something that, at first, seemed strange to many. You don't attract what you want. You attract what? You are what you vibrate. The rational mind tries to understand this with logic, but this is a truth that can only be grasped with expanded awareness. Everything in the universe vibrates. Everything, including you. And what determines your vibration is what you feel. It's not just what you think. Because see, a thought generates a feeling, and that feeling produces a vibration. It's this vibration that communicates to the universe what you are asking for. Many people go through life saying they want prosperity, saying they want a better life. But inside, they are full of fear, scarcity, anger, frustration. They're vibrating the opposite of what they say they want, and that's what they attract. More scarcity, more obstacles, more frustration. Bob explained, your body is in a constant vibrational state. That vibration is a frequency. What is in harmony with that frequency will be attracted into your life whether you realize it or not. Think of it like a radio. You don't hear all the stations at once. You tune into a specific frequency. Only then do you hear what's being broadcast. Life works the same way. You don't attract random opportunities. You attract what matches your inner frequency. That's why the key is to change your vibration. And that starts, again, from within. Stop waiting for the world to change first. Change your frequency and the world will reorganize around you. People, ideas, doors, and paths begin to appear. It's not magic. It's spiritual science. Bob was clear. You want to change your life? Change the vibration you're in. Everything around you will respond. But listen carefully. Changing your vibration requires presence. It means being conscious of your feelings at every moment. It means not letting yourself be pulled by fear, by pessimism, by what others say. It means choosing, moment by moment, to vibrate toward your highest vision. So here's a question for you to reflect on right now. What are you feeling in this moment? That emotion, not what you say, not what you think, but what you feel. That is your frequency. That's what is shaping what comes next in your life. If this message is shifting your vibration, leave a heart in the comments and share it with someone who needs to raise their frequency. Because together, at a higher vibration, we can create extraordinary realities. Bob Proctor always said, if you can clearly see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That phrase isn't just inspiring, it's a spiritual law. Because everything, absolutely everything that exists today was first created in someone's mind. Look around you. It's the chair you're sitting on, the phone or computer you're using to listen to me. It all started as a mental image, and in the same way, your future life already exists right now as a sketch within you. The question is, do you have clarity of that image? Bob explained that his life only truly began to change when he created with absolute clarity the image of the man he wanted to be. It wasn't just about wishing to be rich. He saw himself as rich. He felt what it was like to be prosperous. He visualized the places he wanted to be, the checks he wanted to sign, the books he would write, the stage where he would speak to crowds, and more importantly, he acted as if it were already real. It's not about pretending. It's about tuning into the frequency of the image. You don't live from the outside in. You live from the inside out, he used to say. Most people wait to see proof in the outside world before they believe. Bob did the opposite. He believed first, felt it deeply, and the world began to shape itself to that vision. That's why he emphasized so much. You need to create a clear image of the life you desire, not a vague picture, not a loose wish, but a detailed vision with emotions, colors, smells, sounds, sensations, because the more vivid that image is within you, the stronger the frequency you emit, and the universe begins to respond. Bob used to ask his students, do you know what you want? Can you describe your ideal life in detail? Or are you just hoping things will get better on their own? That's a question that can change destinies. So now I ask you, if you were certain that everything is possible, what would your life look like 1 year from now? Close your eyes and answer with your heart, because that is the image you need to nurture every single day. And when that image becomes clear, when it comes alive inside of you, you'll feel a strength you've never felt before. You'll wake up with purpose, and you'll begin to live toward it as if it were already happening. And you know what's most incredible? Life begins. To respond, people show up. Ideas emerge. Opportunities knock at your door. Not because it's magic, but because you finally began operating at the frequency of what you desire. If this touched your heart, write in the comments, "I see it." That simple gesture could be the first step in turning your vision into reality. And remember, someone you love might need this message right now. Share this video with someone who needs to reignite the power of imagination. Have you ever felt stuck, as if something inside you sabotaged your dreams even when you knew what to do? Bob Proctor called that the invisible enemy, and this enemy has a name: paradigm. A paradigm is a set of habits, beliefs, and automatic patterns that control your life. It doesn't matter how much you think positively, read books, or watch inspiring videos. If your paradigm is programmed for scarcity, fear, or limitation, it will always pull you back. Bob used to say, your paradigm is like a thermostat. If it's set to 68 degrees, doesn't matter if hot air comes in, the system will work to bring it back to 68. That's why so many people improve for a while, then go back to square one. They make money, then lose it. They start a project, then quit. They have a dream, but never achieve it. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's not bad luck. It's the paradigm. And here's the scariest part. Your paradigm was formed without your permission. As a child, you were programmed with beliefs from your parents, your school, society, religion, television. You heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to suffer to succeed. This isn't for people like us. And the worst part? You believed it because you were a child. And children don't question, they absorb. Bob Proctor understood this after years of study and self-discovery. He used to say, you don't need to fix your mind. It's not broken. But you do need to reprogram your paradigm. It's like changing your brain's operating system, from scarcity to prosperity, from fear to confidence, from survival to creation. But pay attention, this doesn't happen through information alone. A paradigm only changes with constant repetition and intense emotion. You have to bombard your mind every day with the image of the life you want to live. You need to speak, feel, act, imagine, write, visualize as if it were already real. That's why Bob spoke with such power. You don't change your life just by listening. You change it by acting against the old paradigm until it breaks. Yes, it will feel weird at first. Yes, you'll feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the sign that you're leaving behind the old programming. And you know what happens? When you persist even through the fear, the old version of you begins to fade. The real, powerful, unlimited version begins to emerge. So here's a challenge. Grab a pen and paper today. Write how you live, feel, and think 12 months. From now with your new paradigm, then read it out loud. Every single day. Feel it as if it were already true. If you do that, your life will never be the same. And if this part of the journey spoke to you, write in the comments, I am reprogramming my paradigm. And that's not just a comment, it's a decision. And don't keep this key to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to break the cycle. Stop and think for a moment. How many times have you had a brilliant idea, but put it off? How many times have you felt the impulse to act but doubt one? How many opportunities have you let pass by because you were afraid to fail? Bob Proctor said it clearly. People don't fail because they lack talent, they fail because of indecision. And he didn't say that lightly, lived it. When Bob decided to leave his regular job and pursue financial freedom, he had no guarantees. He didn't know how. He only knew he had to make a decision. And here's the truth that almost no one tells you. The decision comes before the path. It's not when everything is clear. It's when you say yes even, without knowing how. Most people are waiting for security before they act. But security comes after the decision, never before. Bob taught that the power of decision is the spark that activates the law of attraction. It's when you decide with conviction that the universe begins to move. But listen closely. Decision is not desire. It's not I want. It's not that would be nice. Decision is commitment to action. It's cutting off plan B. It's burning the bridges and going all in on plan A. And he would say, when you make a real decision, everything starts to move. People show up, opportunities emerge, resources come. But nothing happens until you decide. That takes courage, because the world will say, wait a little longer, be realistic, make sure first. But reality is built by those who act without certainty. That's how Bob built his empire. That's how he transformed millions of lives. And now the question is, what do you need to decide today? Not tomorrow, not when you have the money, not when everything makes sense. Today in the comments, right? Today I decide. It doesn't matter what the decision is, deciding is the first step to changing everything. If this teaching from Bob Proctor helped you see the power of your choice, share this video. Someone out there is stuck in indecision, and this message might be the trigger for their freedom. Bob Proctor was always direct. Poverty is a result of ignorance. It's not a lack of opportunity. And he spoke those words with authority. Bob grew up not understanding how money worked. He was in debt, confused, living in an endless cycle of working and paying bills. But everything changed when he learned one thing most people never discover. Money isn't something you earn, it's something you attract. Sounds strange? That's because we were taught wrong. Since childhood, we've heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees. If you're born poor, you'll die poor. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, Bob explained. These beliefs are like mental viruses. They run on autopilot, even when you're trying to earn more. They silently pull you down, he would say. You're not programmed for wealth. You're programmed to survive. And that's why so many people stay broke, even when they make more money. They earn $5,000 and spend $6,000. They earn $20,000 and still live paycheck to paycheck. Because the problem isn't in the bank account. It's in the conditioned mind, Bob would ask. How much money do you believe you deserve? That simple question revealed so much because the real answer isn't spoken. It shows up in behavior. Do you sabotage yourself when opportunity comes? Do you avoid chances that involve money? Do you feel guilt when you think about becoming rich? These are signs of a poor self-image. And Bob used to say, you will never consistently earn more than you believe you deserve. Ain't. That's why he insisted so much on mental reprogramming. Reading every day, repeating affirmations. Surrounding yourself with prosperity, even if only in your mind. He would always say, if you want to change your financial results, stop focusing on the money. Start changing your inner image. When he changed his, everything changed. He went from a man in debt cleaning floors to one of the greatest names in personal development on the planet. Now take a moment and reflect. What image do you hold of yourself when it comes to money? Do you see yourself earning well, living in abundance? Or do you still feel like that's not for me? Write in the comments, I am reprogramming my mind for wealth. Even this one sentence can start to shift your paradigm. And if this part sparks something in you, share it with someone who needs to break free from the mental prison of scarcity. You could be the channel of their transformation. Bob Proctor used to say something that sounded strange at first. You don't have a mind. You are mind, the body, just the instrument, the spirit, the vital energy. But the one in control of it all is the mind. And here's the point. Most people live as if their body's trying to improve life, when in truth, they are minds directing everything behind the curtain. Bob illustrated this clearly. He divided the mind into two major systems. The conscious mind, where you choose, think, and decide. The subconscious mind, where your beliefs, habits, and emotions live. And here comes the secret. The subconscious doesn't question. It only accepts and executes. It's like fertile soil. Plant a seed of scarcity, and you'll harvest misery. Plant a seed of wealth, you'll harvest abundance. Bob would say firmly, Dodd. You must take control of your conscious mind and start feeding the subconscious with the right ideas. How? Repetition, emotion, image. He called this mental impression. The more often you repeat something with emotion, the deeper it imprints on the subconscious. And the body, just the executor. Your body will always express what's impressed. On your subconscious mind, that's why most people try to change external results, money, relationships, health, without changing the cause, which is in the mind. It's like trying to change your reflection in the mirror by smashing the glass. It doesn't work. True transformation happens from the inside out. And here's the spiritual part. Bob said the mind is the bridge between spirit and body. The spirit is pure creative energy. The mind is the filter. The body is the channel of manifestation. You are connected to something far greater. When you align your thoughts with this creative source, everything changes. You don't need to struggle. You need to come into harmony with the law, the universal laws, the laws of the mind, the laws of energy. Bob studied these laws for decades, like the law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, and he would repeat, "You are a spiritual being having a physical experience, and you're here to expand and create." When you understand this, you stop feeling like a victim, and you start becoming a creator, creator of your reality, creator of your wealth, creator of your new life. If this truth is resonating with you, comment now, "I am mind. I command my destiny." Remember, you have the power to transform lives by sharing this video. Pass this message forward. Imagine being able to mold your reality like a sculptor molds clay. Bob Proctor used to say, "This power is not fantasy, it's spiritual science." And the most powerful tool for that? Your imagination. He shared how for years he lived in lack, stuck in jobs he didn't like, drowning in debt, till he discovered that he could visualize a new life and live in it before it even existed. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's what Bob always said with absolute conviction. But pay attention. Visualization is not just daydreaming. It's creating images with clarity, emotion, and frequency until your subconscious accepts them as truth. Bob called it experiencing the result before achieving it. It's like mentally living in your dream house, even if you're still in a small apartment. It's like seeing yourself as a successful entrepreneur, even if you're just starting from scratch. Bob used a simple and powerful technique every morning and evening. He would visualize what he wanted. He felt as if it were already real, and repeated powerful affirmations to imprint that in his subconscious. It was a sacred ritual, he said. You will never outperform the image you hold of yourself. Change the image, and you will change your life. This internal image is your self-paradigm, and it acts like a thermostat. Even if you earn more money, you'll find a way to return to the old pattern. Unless you change the mental image. Bob learned this from Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, in the book Think and Grow Rich, which he read every day for decades. But it wasn't just reading, it was a living practice. He would take one idea, write it down, repeat it, visualize it, and live it as if it were already true. You need to intensely repeat what you want until your mind accepts no other possibility. And when your mind accepts it, the universe responds. Do this exercise now. Close your eyes for a few seconds and visualize the life you want to live. See it, feel it, be grateful, and comment below. I am creating my reality every day. And if this message is touching you, share it. Someone out there might need exactly this to change their life, Bob. Proctor often said something that shocked many people. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. This is one of the deepest truths of the law of attraction. This is not philosophy, it's physics. Every thought, every emotion, every belief emits a frequency. The big question is, what frequency are you vibrating in right now? If you think about prosperity but feel fear of not having enough, if you want love but feel rejected, if you dream big but vibrate in doubt, you're blocking what you desire the most. Bob explained this with a simple analogy. The mind is like a transmitter and receiver. It's just like a radio station. You can't hear jazz while tuning into a rock station. Likewise, you can't manifest abundance while vibrating in scarcity, he said. You need to align with the frequency of what you want. Be the vibration of it, and it will come to you. What changes your vibration? Feelings, emotions, internal state. That's why he emphasized using emotionalized imagination. Visualize with intensity. Feel with gratitude. Act as if it's already real. And most importantly, stay in that state even when nothing around you seems to change. That's the secret. Most people give up halfway because they haven't understood that vibration is the signal that governs. Everything Bob shared that when he first started applying this, he didn't see immediate changes, but he persisted. He saw himself as a new person. And little by little, the universe began to respond. He was no longer the same vibration as before. And then, the old life began to dissolve. A new reality began to appear. Now think, what emotion do you feel most during your day? Gratitude, joy, confidence? Or worry, anxiety, frustration? You're vibrating that and creating more of that. Comment below with honesty. I choose to vibrate in what I want to attract. Share with someone who needs to change their energy. Sometimes, a single video can be the spark for a new life. Bob Proctor was never against hard work. In fact, he said work was essential. But what he questioned was the kind of action most people take. People are working hard on things they don't want, when they should be working with their mind to create what they truly desire. That was the point. Most people act from fear, urgency, and lack. They run, push, struggle, trying to force life to happen. But Bob said, work with your mind. Act from the inside out. True transformative action doesn't come from desperation. It comes from clarity, conviction, and inner confidence. When your mind is aligned, your emotions are elevated. The action you take is inspired, fluid, natural, powerful. That kind of action has more impact in one day than weeks of mindless effort. Bob gave a practical example. Before starting any project, he would spend time visualizing the final result. He imagined himself on stage, felt the energy, felt the impact of his message. Only then would he begin to act. His mind had already lived the success, even before the first real step. And when action came, it was full of intention, purpose, and the right energy. That's what he called inspired action. And you might be wondering, but how do I know if I'm acting the right way? The answer is simple. Feel what's behind your action. If it's fear, urgency, comparison, stop. If it's enthusiasm, clarity, direction, go ahead, because the universe responds to intention, not just movement. Bob also said you can work all day and go nowhere, or you can act with clarity and transform your life in weeks. So before doing anything, pause. Align your vibration. See the result. Be grateful as if it already happened. Then, take action. If this makes sense to you, write in the comments. I choose to act with inspiration. And if you know someone who's working hard but seeing no results, share this video. It might be the missing key. Bob Proctor said firmly, you will never earn more than the image you hold of yourself allows. You will never achieve something beyond your self-image. It's powerful and also liberating, because it means that it's not the outside world that limits you. It's how you see yourself on the inside. Since childhood, we've been programmed by our parents, teachers, and society. We received labels. You're too distracted. You're not good with numbers. You're lazy. You weren't born for this. These labels became part of our self-image. And your self-image is like an invisible thermostat, no matter how hard you try. If your mind believes you're worth little, it will sabotage any success beyond that level. You might even make more money. You'll lose it. You might even lose weight, but gain it back. You might even enter a great relationship, but sabotage and push it away. Why? Because deep down, you don't believe you deserve it. You don't see yourself that way. Bob was clear. You will never outperform the image you have of yourself unless you change that image, and he taught how to do that. 1. Get clear on who you want to be. Create a new mental image. Who are you at your best? How do you walk, talk, act? What's your routine, your habits, your decisions? 2. Repeat it constantly. Visualize this new version every day. Feel that you already are this person. Don't wait for external evidence. Create certainty within you. 3. Act like this person now, even if it feels weird, even if the world says otherwise. You're reprogramming your inner thermostat, Bob explained. You don't need to become that person. You already are that person. You just need to remove what others told you you weren't. This is the truth many people don't see. Your true self is already prosperous, abundant, brave, capable. You just need to access and strengthen that identity. And to do that, he recommended post reminders. Use affirmations. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your new image. Avoid environments that pull you back to your old self. Because when your self-image changes, everything changes. If this teaching touched you, write in the comments, I am changing my self-image. And if you want to help someone who keeps sabotaging themselves without realizing it, send them this video. After decades studying the human mind, prosperity, and success, Bob Proctor came to a conclusion that few have the courage to say out loud. You already are everything you need to be. What's missing is your belief in that. What separates you from the life you desire is not effort, not time, not luck. It's the lack of awareness of the power that already exists within you. Have the power to choose your thoughts, to shift your vibration, to build a new image of yourself, to align with the life you truly want to live. You are not here by accident. You are not watching this video by coincidence. You're ready or awakening. Bob used to say, what you're seeking is seeking you. And when you're ready to receive, the universe begins to move everything in your favor. And maybe, in this very moment, the universe is using these words to remind you of who you are. Don't live on autopilot anymore. Don't settle for an average life. You were born to live in fullness, in abundance. With purpose, your mind is a creative powerhouse, and your thoughts are shaping your tomorrow. Right now, so the question is, what will you choose to think, feel, and do from today forward? Remember, you are not alone on this journey. There's an entire community of people awakening, growing, and transforming their lives. If this message touched your heart like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Write in the comments, I am the creator of my reality. Because when you write it, you affirm it. You decide, you manifest. And as Bob Proctor always said, when you change what's inside, everything around you begins to change. Bob taught us that imagination is the workshop of the mind. It's where you design your future. And if you don't use it to build the life you want, it will be used against you to repeat the life you don't. So now ask yourself, what life are you imagining? What reality are you rehearsing in your mind every single day? Because that's what you're creating. Bob Proctor used to say, you already have everything you need inside of you. You just need to wake up to it. And maybe this video is that wake-up call. So, right now, comment below. I am the creator of my reality. Let this be the moment where you stop waiting for change and start becoming the change. Because once your mind expands, it never goes back to its old dimensions. And from this point on, you can't unsee the truth. You're not meant for scarcity. You're not meant to live small. You were born to prosper. You were born to grow. You were born to shine. Leave your comment. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this, like it, if this message touched you. And subscribe if you want more wisdom that transforms from the inside out. This is not just content. This is your reminder. You are powerful. You are mind. You are the cause, not the effect, as Bob Proctor would say. Decide right now that you will no longer live by default, but by design. And that design starts in your imagination, starts in your belief, starts today.